Welcome back. The battle to control HIV has been something of a success story in the UK. But tonight, ITV News can reveal disturbing evidence of a growing outbreak in one of Britain's major cities. On the streets of Glasgow, HIV cases among drug users are increasing at a rate which health bosses call unexpected. A major report out tomorrow is set to highlight the closure of 2 busy needle exchanges as key factors. Well, 7 years ago, only 1% of addicts in Glasgow had HIV. By the end of last year, almost 11% had the disease. This investigation by our Scotland correspondent Peter Smith contains scenes involving drugs.
On the streets of Glasgow, hard drugs are easy to find.
Swab, spoon and a needle.
But there's now an HIV outbreak in this city, driven by people who are injecting drugs and sharing dirty needles.
You see needle sharing almost every single day. I've done it once.
Why did you do that?
Because I was desperate to get my necks fixed.
2 of Glasgow's busiest needle exchanges have closed recently, places addicts could get clean needles.
People are using needles that they find in the street, and it's been lying there for about 5 days. It's blunt and probably rusty. They're catching all sorts of things, like Hep C, HIV.
Why are they doing it?
Just because there's no needle exchanges of it.
A study into this epidemic will be published in the Lancet HIV journal tomorrow. The author says Glasgow has provided fertile ground for an outbreak.
The situation we're seeing in Glasgow is unlike anything we've seen in the UK for over 30 years. And Glasgow's HIV situation at the moment is certainly an outlier.
In the midst of this outbreak, Glasgow's been closing needle exchanges.
There is very strong evidence to suggest that needle and syringe provision is very effective prevention of bloodborne viruses such as HIV. So closure of these services at the time of an outbreak is a very, very challenging situation.
There is another factor. Glasgow's heroin users are increasingly injecting cocaine, and whereas they would have craved a heroin fix a couple of times a day, they need to inject cocaine every couple of hours. That means they use more needles, even if it means reusing or sharing. We showed our filming to the Scottish Government's Public Health Minister.
It's so widely available.
It kind of really does bring it home when you hear it directly from someone who's got that direct experience.
It is within the Scottish Government's power to invest in needle exchanges. Why hasn't the Scottish Government filled the gap with a public-funded needle exchange?
So this is an area that we have to work in partnership with other service providers, and it's obviously disappointing when a service is removed, and we do need to look at how we continue to provide that support.
Glasgow's NHS has now created a mobile needle exchange to reach addicts on the streets, but the virus is still spreading. Britain hasn't seen an epidemic like this since the 1980s, and it is not being contained. Peter Smith, ITV News, Glasgow.